know, obviously you said about earlier about having match of the night is the goal, and I think a lot of fans would agree that tonight the tag title change was match of the night. Talk to me. I want to know about, you know, as far as your career goes, like the crescendo is that you went to the finish. What was that moment like when you finally won and the crowd went crazy? Like, is that right up there in Royal Albert Hall tonight as a career moment?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, it's obviously far and above. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've travelled the world. You know, we said this earlier. We've travelled the world and won, you know, tag titles all over the world, in America, and I don't even know what the countries. Maybe some others. And like numerous tag team championships. You know what I mean? And we've had the best time doing it. Obviously, do you know what I mean? Because that's the whole point of it, isn't it? You've got to enjoy your life, whatever you do. But obviously, getting to do what we do, getting to fly around the world and winning titles all over the place has been amazing. But
well, whenever you're at, like,
Royal Albert
is there another time that we're ever going to win the NXT titles in Royal Albert Hall, in perhaps the biggest show in British wrestling history?
It's madness. Madness. Thank you.
Yeah.
Trent, particularly for you as the older guy in this trio, no offence, but this guy's only 21 years old. You started your own promotion, you've been there through the Butlins years and the dark years up until where we are now. Just tell us a bit about that journey and what it's been like to get to this point.
Yeah, well, funnily enough, regarding that, the Butlins type of thing, I never actually got into that side of the scene. It was almost that kind of side of the scene that made me think, maybe we should make a wrestling company where we just batter each other. You know, like a little bit of strong style, a little bit of strong style. And that was the whole point of like Fight Club Pro. We started it for that reason. We wanted competitive wrestling. Do you know what I mean? We wanted people that were going to go out there and fight for titles and fight for money and fight for fame and, you know, fight for something. Do you know what I mean? And that's the whole point of it. So many times we see, you know, brands of wrestling or sports entertainment that are extraordinarily high quality, extraordinarily high quality for the consumer. But for me personally, there's just nothing better than a fight.
Well, you said it yourself. You called it like that dark stage, didn't you? It's like, well, wrestling wasn't very cool.
Yeah, it was very
guys like
boring.
us got together to make wrestling cool.
Yeah, very much so. And I think it's pretty cool now.
Well done. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Good. Is there going to be a bit of competition now between NXT in the UK and NXT in the States? Are you really looking to show them how it's done from start?
I guess so. But it's not like vicious, like malicious competitions. Just a bit of healthy competition.
We could burn down the office.
say like NXT is here and NXT UK is like barely a thing yet. It's the egg's only just hatched, and we're gonna try and like get to where NXT's level are and try and go above and beyond that. And it's up to NXT to step up to the plate and, you know, try and push us further to make us better. And
yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at the quality of matches that comes out of Takeover. It's every single time, whether we're there or we're not, mind's just blown by the quality of the entire card and the entire performance levels just through the roof. But then I looked at the show today and I'm like, that's Takeover level quality, that is. You know what I mean? Like this
it's like you said earlier.
Pete's retaining. This is absolute top end Takeover level quality, like WrestleMania type stuff, man. And if we can be the people that bring that to the United Kingdom, then yeah, so be it. Let it be on
to that. Is there a ceiling on British wrestling?
Of course not.
No.
Look at me.
No, but seriously, of course there isn't. You know, progress of running Wembley. Not the stadium, that would be ridiculous. But they're running like Wembley Arena, right? Yeah. I think the date is September the 30th. 30th. Well done. September 30th. That's Wembley Arena. WWE runs that when they come here. It's insane. It's madness. It's an independent company. As far as WWE UK goes, man, the sky's the limit. Let's just do it. Let's just take every single opportunity we've got and just smash it out of the park.
There you go.
So, it's a different question for each of you, but about the same thing. It's about NXT TakeOver Chicago last year, when you had the match with Pete Dunne. And I want to talk about this from like a WWE fan's perspective. So as if they've never seen any indie wrestling before, and all they've ever seen is the Blackpool tournament, and then you get to NXT TakeOver. So for you, how was it for you that like a lot of fans who maybe had never seen you before saw you for the first time, and it was like, wow, this is it. And then to you is at the same point, you're not in that opportunity that he's getting right there and then, but obviously you're part of the UK brand, you want to keep building yourself. I just wonder from both of you how different that was for you, just kind of in your minds.
So we've had this conversation with Pete a lot. So when we wrestle, we try and cater to, say, like people like my dad, for example, who doesn't really have any interest in wrestling. He just likes fighting. He's just into kind of like UFC. But if you can get someone who thinks that wrestling's like this phony clown act and make them believe in what you're doing, then you're doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like how I try and approach what I do, is to try and like bring new fans in. Like I said earlier, I want to make wrestling cool. I want to make it like a mainstream sort of thing. I want like your normal everyday working class man to watch wrestling and think it's cool and like it was back in the World of Sport days, when everybody watched wrestling. Everybody would go to the wherever it was, town hall, and really believe everything that they were seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to kind of jump on that, like with Johnny Saint as like the general manager, you know, that's a strong part of, you know, the heritage of how we wrestle. Specifically Pete, and specifically Tyler. There's a lot of nuances, you know, from that era that they utilise. Do you know what I mean? And like having him involved in it, like he knows every single wrestling move or hold that's ever been done, and the ones that are in his head that he doesn't want to tell anyone yet, but he's still like 71, so he's keeping them to himself. Like, so just having him involved and having those throwbacks to that, like we sat there yesterday in the bar just like watching old Johnny Saint videos, and we're like, we've got to post these online so that the, you know, casual fan knows that this is the best wrestler, like, of the last 30 years in this country. Like, you know, he was incredible, but you know, at the end of the day, we've got an incredible like group of people behind us, from the top all the way down to the referees, the ring crew put in an incredible shift, and you guys don't get to see that. Do you know what I mean? You go in there now and there's geezers sweating their cobs off. We're setting this up at 4 o'clock yesterday morning. So from the bottom to the top, man, NXT UK is just, it's an incredible place to be, man.
Take one last one from over there.
Just on the, yeah, I promise it's the last one. Just, we were talking about the rival between NXT and NXT UK, but I specifically want to ask about the guys you faced tonight. You're there with the belts, but they still say Undisputed Era on them, and they are, yeah, well, quite, but they've been like the most over guys in NXT for the last year or so. What was it like working with Carl, with Roderick, but also with Adam yesterday, and working with them over the last few months to get to this point?
I met Kyle O'Reilly first in 2010, and we wrestled in 2010, and he was obviously very young, and I was a lot older than him, but a lot younger than I am now, and a lot fatter and a lot worse. And then 8 years on, to be standing across the ring from him in the Royal Albert Hall challenging for the NXT Tag Team Championships is just, it's just crazy level. You can't, there's no way you could ever think, hey, imagine if for 8 years we wrestled at the Royal Albert Hall and we beat you. Come on, man.
WWE
it's a joke. And Adam Cole exactly the same. Like, I stayed in his house when I did my first tour of America. And I say tour, I did one match. I was there for 2 weeks, couldn't get booked. Did one match, and it was officially the worst match of the year.
It actually was the worst match of the year.
Big pot for Botchamania, but he voted it. It was voted the worst match of the year. If you want to go and find it, message him, because I'm pretty sure Mick Foley introduces the segment. So yeah, you can go and see that if you want. But that's a sign of how things have come, man. Like, it's come full circle. The crowds are up, the quality is up, the production is up. We've upped our games. It's now time to make NXT UK a global brand. Let's do it.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.